So one of the things that keeps getting posted on my feed is urbanist content by people like not just bikes, but just an assortment of YouTubers who are commentating on the urban scene in America. And they say the predominant reason that American cities sucks is car culture. Well, they're kind of almost missing a point. So I had the opportunity to live in Ithaca, New York, while I was an undergraduate student at Cornell University. And during my time there, what was abundantly clear to me is that Ithaca is a walking haven. It is one of the nicest places, built environment wise, that you will find in the entirety of the United States. Yet, if I wanted to go pick up a pizza, which was a 10-minute walk from my apartment, I would never walk there. I would instead get in my car, despite it being actually a bigger pain in the butt, drive to the pizza place, pick up the pizza, and then leave. The reason behind this was that Ithaca is incredibly unsafe. For some reason, the Ithaca City Council wanted to legalize the use of drugs and whatnot and refused to take any action against drug users and the homeless population there. And so to the point that every time I would walk to the pizza shop from my apartment, which was only a 10-minute walk, I was actually putting my life in danger, and that is not an exaggeration. I have been attacked numerous times on my way there that I eventually just gave up and I started driving everywhere. Which is to say that the reason that American car culture is so dominant, one of the major reasons is that you are a lot safer in a car than you are walking on the street. And until urbanists start tackling the safety problem, people are not going to move to cities. America has actually a lot of wonderfully walkable cities: St. Louis, Baltimore, Chicago, Buffalo, Cleveland. Yet no one wants to live in these places because they are incredibly unsafe. If urbanists care about urban environments and creating better cities, one of the first things are walkable cities. One of the first things that you seriously have to take in consideration is safety, because if you cannot walk places without feeling safe, people are absolutely not going to walk places. And this is also true of Philadelphia. In fact, even my car didn't save me when I was actually at Penn Law School for for my graduate degree in law. I actually got almost carjacked once, being chased. Now, if I was on foot and there was a kind of, a dodge at my university where the McDonald's was called McDeath because a lot of students would be killed there, would actually die while getting McDonald's late at night. And so if you don't take safety seriously, you're not going to get walkable cities. People are going to live in the suburbs, and live in the suburbs and not live in the downtown city. This is why New York City is one of the most successful cities in the United States, because it actually is the safest big city in the United States. It is incredibly safe. You don't actually feel that, at risk walking around Manhattan or Brooklyn or Williamsburg or even most of the Queens. Like, you're not actually worried for your life at any of these points, because New York spends an incredible amount of money on policing. Meanwhile, the bail laws have made it more difficult to kind of arrest people and put them away. But they spend an incredible amount of money on policing, and this policing is what leads to a safer environment. Now, a lot of urbanists, because they tend to be a lot more left-wing, I personally am center-right, they tend to kind of say that you're a racist if you care about, safety. And that I find that just ridiculous. The people who are most affected by crime tend to be poor racial minorities, but just in de facto, from the perspective of actually wanting to create better cities, you need to be safe. I can even give you another example from my life. I lived in New York City, and I stopped taking the subway because I saw a deranged individual push a 4-year-old in front of a subway car while it was stopping. Now, thankfully, the child didn't die. He was just hit by the side of the car as it was coming in, but the homeless man then sprinted away. After that moment, I said, you know what, I'm never taking the subway again, because the extra $10 to go somewhere, or just walking there as opposed to take the subway, which I normally do is just I walk places because above ground is safe, but the subways are not. It's just not worth it. So I'd usually either, if I wanted to go somewhere, I would walk there, or I just pay for the Uber. I figured I might as well pay an extra $10 to get there safely in a car. And until you take safety seriously, American cities are going to suck. Now, there's only so much urbanists can even do, because the Second Amendment is a thing in the United States. Of course, New York City has made it very difficult to have a pistol on you, while in the actual physical city is a felony. You'll go to jail for a very long time if you're caught with a gun on you. But the Second Amendment is a thing which is going to make this an uphill battle no matter what, and that's why European cities tend to feel a lot safer than American cities. That and kind of ethnic homogeneity for whatever reason creates safer environments. Why? I don't know. It's just a natural series of things, and we can do our best to minimize it, but it just tends to be an aspect of humanity that we can't deny. So why European cities are so much better? Of course, there's walkability as a component of it, but I'd say the bigger thing is the fact that Europe is a lot safer than America. Like, you're at no point traveling in Europe, unless you go to a really sketchy, dodgy territory, are you actually worried for your life. On the worst thing that can happen to you is you probably get pickpocketed. Whereas if you go to the wrong neighborhood in America, in an American city such as Philadelphia or Chicago, there's a chance you lose your life, which also, quite frankly, reduces tourism. Like, I want to go see a lot of American cities such as St. Louis, but I have a friend who is from St. Louis who got carjacked 3 times. Do I want to go to St. Louis now? No, because I don't want to get carjacked. My life is worth more than the value I get from seeing the city. So unless American cities start taking crime seriously, which means investing in police officers instead of welfare states, because that tends to be a lot more productive in reducing crimes and putting individuals who commit crimes in prison or just putting them away from society, you're not going to have walkable urban areas where people want to live. The reason car culture is dominant is because you are a lot safer in a car, you physically, than you are walking on the street. Some of this has to do with, pavements and not having walkable areas, but I'd say the majority of it has to do with the lack of policing. And until people take policing seriously, you're not going to have walkable or safe cities in the United States. And so if you're an urbanist and you're in Chicago and you're in Baltimore, the number one thing you have to do is try and get the city to be a lot safer, because if the city's not safer, you're not going to have functional urbanism. People do not want to risk their lives. That's pretty much the gist of it, and that's why the suburbs exist. They tend to be a lot safer because it's a lot harder to commit a crime when you have to move between areas and there's more policing. So that's kind of my whole dint or rant against urbanism, because I see no one talk about this. Give me a break. The murder rate there is like worse than, I think, war-torn areas in the Middle East. So it's kind of illogical to go live there. You quite frankly don't have to value your own life if you go move to St. Louis. So that's why it's so cheap over there. And if they want to make it more expensive or make it a better area to live, it has to get safer. And until people tackle that safety component of urbanism, American cities are just going to continue to suck. And they're going to continue to be car-centric because people want to be in cars so that they don't have to be on the street exposed to criminals. And that's going to be it for today. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like and a subscription. But I have a feeling I just pissed off a lot of people, but I don't care. I'll speak the truth. Hopefully I will see you guys on the next one.